Hey guys, Rainbow Lorikeet, tutorial number 2. So, what I'm going to do is flip the camera around. No, does that work? No, okay. So I'll turn it around. So we've got a towel on the bed. It really helps to cleaning the poo. I recommend it. It will always tend to sit with you or where you are. So try to have a perch or something like that. I've only just moved in, so we're still adapting. I've never actually had any problems with bird poo as such, but I have had an eye infection once, a bit like pink eye and a little sore, but a little lump, but maybe that could have been poo on a pillow, case, and I rubbed my face with it, I don't know. So what I recommend is once you get your bird, keep everything clean from the beginning and you'll never have a problem. If it does get very messy, to the heck with it. If it stinks, the bird will hate you. He won't go down his paper. Don't have that cagey stuff in the cage either at the bottom. Have something they can burrow into. These birds love to burrow. They go under leaves. They rip up the paper. That's the sound of the newspaper ripping, right? Let's see if you like it. Oh. Ready? Wow. Hey, you did it, good boy! Okay, he's getting older, so he forgets things. That's the noise he makes when I rip paper into I tear it up and then put it in his cage. So I put down like a couple of free papers and take the staples out, and by the time they scratch through the bottom of them and you put the ripped up stuff on top by like tearing the newspaper. I don't like newspaper because it's got ink, and yes, the ink does get on them, but the best trick is to keep the paper dry. So therefore, don't overfill your water bowls. If they're going to bath in their cage, make sure you take out the wet ink-filled paper, because that's the ink that's going to get on their feathers. Come here while we talk. Now with his cage, you'll see all the newspaper and the trimmings and all that. So he's got a lot of toys. So he's got a new house too. It's really hard to show you guys. That's that triangle bed that I was telling you about. He sleeps in that. Okay. He likes it up there. That's his little playpen. See, he's got newspaper there. Sometimes they like comfort feet walking too. They don't like to walk on the pen, so don't keep that thing at the bottom of the cage down here when you buy them. And just have newspaper, okay? That way they can tear it up, make fun, make little cubby holes. They love cubbies. It's just the way it is. Sometimes in the morning, if you don't want to get out of bed, and the bird will just get onto the dinner with you. Actually, sometimes if you don't want to get out of bed at all, a good trick is to leave the cage open, because like if it's 4:30 in the afternoon, you haven't woken up yet, something might be wrong. You'll quite often find the bird biting your gums, sitting on your head for hours, to the point where he'll create pain to you so that you will wake up. And this has happened to me on many occasions. And not because it was 4:30, it was because he was out and he was on my head, and I kept just turning over, and then eventually he got sick of it, and he'd just start like digging at the gum and then go, and then start getting underneath the teeth, and that's when you know he wants to go to the toilet. So we take him to the toilet on the finger. I go to the toilet bowl and I say, "Go toilet." He holds it all night. His bed's never had a poo in it once. Mind you, I did have a friend's bird and it's sitting there all the time. So he's just a clever one. Every morning he holds his pill all night till I get out of bed, take him to the toilet bowl or a sink, and he does that biggest dollop you've ever seen, and it's flush worthy. And sometimes it's really smelly, so flush it quick. What are you doing, mate? Huh? Nothing. You doing? Huh? Hop on. Okay, so he wants to do something, and I said hop on. As soon as I said the words hop on, he knew I was going to play hop on. You want to go back to him? Yeah. All right. So this is where we first met. Okay, newspaper. With your cage, just remember the ink does get on them, so change the paper regularly, and look out for wet newspaper, and also keep an eye out for any paper that's covered in, feces. You've got to remember birds do poos, which are runny, and they're pooing them, and then they do wheeze as well. The sound of the thing is more like a big fluff, or it's a little whip. So the whip is the wee, and the pfft is the uh-oh, crap, what have you done? And mind you, those mornings he wakes you up in the morning, sitting on your head, my head. I look on the bed in the morning, and I got a lot of piles of poo, about an inch square, and then it's soaked in, and I have to do all the cleaning. That's why it's good to have a towel on your bed, or on the couch, or whatnot. So, if you would like to know any questions about your lorikeet, please just subscribe to my channel. Type a message to Bubbles, and I'm sure we can help you. Sorry, my name's Brad. So, dear Bradnbubbles, Bubbles the rainbow lorikeet from Southeast Australia. Or Southeast Queensland, Australia. One more thing. With this cage, there's always a playpen. You have to have a playpen. Then you've got to have access to the floor, to his teddies. I'm hanging that one, he was misbehaved. His little partner in crime. And always try and keep the same bedding for his cage, the same teddy bears he grew up with. And what this will do is, you've got to clean them, of course, because they will gather a little bit more poo. He relates to this as comfort. If he has panicked in any situation and he sees that toy, he will feel comfortable. If the bird doesn't do what you want, talk to it like a child. Remember, 5 years old in the head is a lorikeet. They're the world's most acrobatic bird, if not Australia's most acrobatic. Okay, so that means they're also clever. They're the most smartest parrot for its size, and they are of a 5-year-old human calibre with some areas of thinking. He knows I'm talking about him, and he literally ran from his cage to his perch to the floor and got up on the bed, crossed the towel and got up onto me, and now he's part of our conversation, aren't you? He has no idea, but it's all about spending time with them, isn't it? Yes. Do you like spending time with me? Hey, do you like? Yeah. Right. Okay. Do what you want. I'm gonna watch TV. So just give him a bit of attention now and then, and I'll be great company. He's been my best friend for a very long time, and he's got me through some hard times, and he's been to some great places. He's been to the Steve Irwin Zoo. He's been to a lot of the beaches on the Gold Coast. He's met many great looking women. He's ridden a push bike at 50 kilometres per hour. He's gone for drives in the car. He's gone to the park millions of times. He's sat in trees with other lorikeets. Careful of this. Mites. Bird mites. They're in the tree, they're in the bird. If the bird flaps, they could fall on your bird, and then that's it. You've got to redo your whole cage paper and bath your bird and hope for the best. Hope you don't get mange or nothing. So, avoid wild birds, but it's pretty hard not to. Especially if they're sitting on your car door and you want to put your pet next to them and just see what they do. I did. And he tried to groom them and they flew away. You only got to look at the size of him compared to the other ones, and he gets screamed at a lot. They don't like him very much because he's so big. Well, what else can I bore you with? Flowers. Anything that tastes like honey, anything that has pollen, anything that has nectar, like a little bit of grevilleas or banksias, wattle, pretty much anything you see lorikeets eating, try it. Give them some. And don't forget fresh fruits. In the pet shops, they actually give them grated carrot from birth. So they're trained to eat grated carrot, which I wish my bird would do. He hates carrot. Sometimes he likes pear or apple, banana, as I said before, but you've got to be prepared to realise changes in his diet. Sometimes he licks your neck, and I figured it out. He's not licking my neck to clean me. It's like a dog eating grass. He's actually getting salt off my sweat to give his muscles magnesium. They're not that silly, are they? So, if they're licking your neck a lot, now you know why. If they lick your hands and they're all sweaty, you know why. If you have a cut in your leg, like a dog, I'll guarantee they'll find it and they'll lick it as well. It's not infectious. It's kind, and the best thing to do is just thank them, praise them. Once you've yelled at your bird and they know the key angry words, you say it loudly once and they'll run home. All I've got to do is yell out effing so-and-so, what's this? Like sometimes he'll pull apart $100 chiropractic cushion, like neck pillow, because it's made of latex rubber, and he spent the whole day ripping into chunks. He had a ball. So he got a yelling, and he ran home, and then I had a raised heartbeat. He had a raised heartbeat, and I thought, what's the point? I wanted to go over there and talk to him, and instead I just said, "Not your fault. I love you. You're a good boy. Come here. Come get daddy. Give us a kiss." Yeah. So they love him. Yeah. Yeah, you're a good boy. I love you. I love you. He's been saying that lately. Love you. Love you. Love you. Brad, love you. So what else does he say? He doesn't always want to smoke. Sometimes he even asks for a smoke. Can I have a smoke? I think he wants me to give him the ash. Yeah. This is this crocodile from Australia Zoo. Well, not that you can read it without a mirror. I'll put it that way there. No, still doesn't work. So he sits on this every day, and it's nicknamed Crocodile. But he can't say the R word. He's a bit Asian, so I call it Crocodile. Because he humps it all the time. Look, see how he's getting the grip going? Which is, he's going to find the sweet spot. He's going to start rubbing his little belly out. This is how you know if your bird's a male or not. Okay, here we go. So he's rubbing his gland. Mind you, this could go on for a good 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes. He might not find the right spot. Let's check in. Right, we're at the Bird Olympics and we've found Bubbles in round one, and he's out for a knockout. He just had a quickie. What did Crocodile have to say? Oh, he just wanted to, get one up on me. So he thinks he's funny. He bashes me up. Yeah, and boards me, takes me, fucks me. Reminds me of that guy who shoots a bear in the woods. You don't go there for the hunting, because when that bear gave him a second chance, he only gave him two options. Is he going to kill him, or he had to let him live? You'd have to know the joke. A certain few do. Alright, well, we've touched base on flowers and conversations. What I want to stress at the moment is the partnership. I can walk outside and hold him with two hands up against my face and kiss him profusely. I can ride a push bike down a set of stairs and he'll just hang on because he wants to be with me. When he gets his wings and goes and he wants to fly off with everyone else because they make the funny noise when they fly off, like, you'll notice your bird will do that flapping. Just go like this. You know, just put your hand in front of them. And what you'll find is they'll go, why is he doing that? Oh, that's training. And I say, stop, no flying, you know. This bird only just had his wings reclipped. He had wings for 5 years straight, and I still rode a push bike. Took him to the shops, went to the beach. Missed call, sorry guys. And I thought, I've collected enough of his beautiful feathers. One day I got a request, somebody wanted to buy some. So I sold 4 of his beautiful green tail feathers for $10. I thought it was a good deal, but why did I collect them? Because they're absolutely beautiful. Why did they buy them? Because the kids of the father who got them are absolutely obsessed with the rainbow colours. So I gave them tail feathers, chest feathers, bum feathers. That's the best ones, the full rainbow colour. And then I gave him dowling feathers, the little ones that fall out of that yellow and red area. So literally they had the whole rainbow, they had the big feathers and everything. And I've got a lot of them, of the feathers, but it's hard to come by the tail feathers and the big wing feathers. It's hard to come by a big straight feather, the big one. They've always got a bit of a curve for a wing. So going to the vet, make sure you keep those few good feathers, because you will start pulling them out, and you keep getting tail feathers and 6 feathers every time he molts. Keep them in an ice cream container. I recommend dream catchers, artwork, put them in oil paintings, hang it off your dash on a chain. You'd be surprised how many people hang feathers off their rear vision mirror. I do, and I get compliments all the time. They look good. They look like a rainbow, and I've got a couple of the big pretty green ones and a couple of other little ones around the top. I've actually even made a headdress if I could find it. One moment please. Mind you, it's small and it is a test subject, and I would probably have to cut it in 2 to do anything with it. So let's have a look, eh? Sort of hard to show you guys, isn't it? I think that was the front. There's a couple out of alignment after the move. Okay, so there's a good spot. So if you've got the headdress, alright, I'll put it on. It's going to fit me. Yeah. Well, up to me, so. Anyway, they are beautiful feathers, especially that. They're the bum ones. So you can make a headdress out of it. So I was thinking of cutting just down there, opening it up, covering this with suede, and wrapping it around maybe a cowboy hat, a cobra. You could do all sorts of things. You could actually just roll it in a ball and it'd look great that way. keep your feathers. Clean your poo. Clean your cage. If you're going to use newspaper, they're going to rip it up and make a hell of a mess, so keep cleaning it. Get the dirty stuff out. Get the wet paper out. Most important. Eventually the ink will build up in their body and they'll have a shorter life. Birds get iron poisoning if they rust too much. If your cage is just rusty and they have it their whole life, they're eventually going to have an iron build-up or a rust build-up, or tetanus even, I don't know. My friend had this problem with his African grey and it cost him a fortune. So I recently bought a new cage, hence when I picked it up it wasn't quite what I wanted, so just remember to ask for the dimensions. The fact that it was $130 new and I was getting it for $50, I thought it should be okay, but pet shops are expensive and some people don't even ask for a discount, and I wouldn't have paid more than $80 new for that. Anyway, we were travelling and last week and I thought I'd buy him a present. And he loves it. He does. Less space. He's actually been nicer and less demanding because there's less places for him to go. Mind you, he's exploring. So this is the sitting on the head thing. Now, bird people say, never let it stand on your shoulders or your head because they're dominating you. Ugh. Dear me. It bites me a few times and dominates me. Oh. So I was just thinking that all the times it used to chase my mum around when she put her slippers on and bite the front of her ankles at the top of the slippers because they're the fluffy slippers. So yeah, sheepskin aren't a good idea. Socks aren't really a good idea until they're trained because they think it's a little furry thing. Dogs, they're good, really good. Little kids, they got no idea. They just want to touch them, prod them. These are a mature bird for a mature-minded, thinking person who really has to have a good training with animals. Would you believe my last pet was a rat? And before that, a rat. And probably another 15 before that. The reason for this is where I live is it's quite hard to have pets unless you have a family house. Yes. If you do, you go for a rental like I like to, or choose to, and ask for a pet. Theoretically, a bird is not a pet. A fish is not a pet. I have been told not even a fighting fish, please, is allowed here. No pets at all. And I said, not even a fighting fish in a jar with a lid on it? And yeah, the moron said, yeah. I won't say who it is once again, but if you're on the Gold Coast, I'll give you a little list of people that you might want to get a quote from, I don't know, for housing. Where I am at the moment, it's conditional that he's behaved. As soon as I go out the door, he'll squawk 3 times and he's quiet to run back. He hears the car, he hears the keys, he hears my voice. Usually I always do a whistle or a call before I come home. That also trains him when he gets lost to do that call. You've got to have a find me call. So quite often, get your bird out in the grass and walk away from it. Actually, do what I do. Walk forwards, sideways, then backwards, and then tell them what you're doing each time they're doing it, because sometimes they do it. And if you make it look natural, I have trained my bird literally to walk across a bitumen road backwards. The whole road. Following me backwards. No lie. He will walk backwards on footpaths. These days he doesn't do it as much. Now I've bought those really good nail clippers and I've stopped going back to the vet and getting him gassed because he bites the vet so much. And he has been walking really good and not falling over or tripping over, and he's slipping off quite a lot of things. And Yeah, sorry, I lost track there. Well, I guess that's it. As you can tell by my eyes, yes, I'm tired. I've been moving house. If Bubbles is going to have a web page, he's going to have someone who knows how to use a computer, aren't you, mate? Hey, you listening? Bubbles. Thanks. So I said thanks. And thank you too. And remember, if you want a bird to say, yum, yum, yummy, Bubbles is your man.